Welcome back to Conversations. We're talking with Sherry Smith, the absolute consummate expert on selling your stuff on eBay. This is so fascinating. I'm thinking people are just waiting to come back from the break so we can find out what happens next. So we've got our stuff up there. Maybe we're doing bidding, maybe we're doing fixed price, but it has sold. This, hallelujah.
Okay.
By the way, before I get to that, did this cost us to put our item on eBay?
Actually, you get 50 items you can list a month without it costing anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got our buyer. We're pleased. It's gone well. How do we get our item to the buyer, and how do they get their money to us?
Okay, so this is where it gets exciting.
Okay.
And they pay you, they can pay right through PayPal.
Okay.
That's one of the steps when you create your listing, you put in your PayPal email address.
Okay.
So you do want to open a PayPal account.
All right.
The money goes in there, and now on your My eBay, you go to your My eBay, it says sold, and you can click print shipping label. So a lot of people don't do that. They think, now I got to go to the post office. You could print your label through eBay right on your regular printer.
And by that person going to PayPal and paying you, that automatically puts their address and their mailing address, their shipping address, and all of that on there. So you just print the label. It's right up there on the bar.
Yes. Well, you go to My eBay, and then selling, and then it's under it's like your desktop of all the things you have to do. And you can click print shipping label. It shows their address. It shows what shipping you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
And you want to start with small items to make that simple, by the way.
Okay, so about the shipping then, what you want to do. In other words, is that part of my cost? Do I pay for the shipping then? Or did I set up something along the way that the buyer's paying for that?
Well, when you created your listing, one of the sections was shipping, and you can use the eBay calculator, and you do have to put in the weight. And you want to put in the weight once it's in a box.
Right, so if you've got all sorts of packaging around it, that's got to be included and put it on your scale. Okay.
And you're going to need, a kitchen scale or digital scale. And then eBay even suggests a lot of times what kind of shipping you want to do for that. And when you're creating your listing, and eBay will calculate it for the buyer based on where they are and based on the weight you put in.
Interesting. Okay,
and,
so
and
that's all done.
The buyer.
And charges the buyer.
Yes.
And then you just have to package it. You've got the packaging at home, and then you just send it off with the label, the prepaid label.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's so good. Now, how does that person trust you? I mean, that's you've gotten their money,
right?
But is this where that rating system comes in? I've seen people that are rated quite high when it comes to selling things.
Yeah, the rating helps a lot. But the other thing is that eBay tells them when they look at your item, money back guarantee, guaranteed by eBay. So they actually don't have to totally trust you.
Okay.
eBay is telling them your purchase is guaranteed.
I see.
And eBay's protecting you as a seller also, that if the buyer were to do something funny, that you have eBay seller protection. So your eBay's premise is that people are basically good, and that's why we can trade with someone who we don't know, who's in Kentucky or some other state or country. But for those that aren't, eBay protects the seller and the buyer.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, and then if you are the buyer, say this has gone so well, you decide you're going to see what you can spend some of your new gains on. You're going to go in and buy something there. Then you have the choice of going into a bidding situation, or you have the choice of going into a fixed price situation.
Right.
And it's just as simple, but in reverse.
Right, and if you're not sure about anything, just click contact seller and ask them any questions beforehand so that you make sure you're getting what you hope it is.
You'll get their email address then, or through eBay? But
it'll go through eBay.
I see. So it's all safe. You don't have to worry about anything. You know what I love about all of this is that nobody's coming to your house to check things out.
Yes, no one comes to your house. And also, they don't have your financial information when they're paying through PayPal.
Yes.
PayPal keeps that information, so...
This is so excellent. So you have made it so simple. I mean, I just want to go home and sell that jewelry I showed you.
Okay,
I wanted to ask you also, somebody I know said, well, ask her about, he's got 2 fur coats that when his mother lived in the South, and that's what they wore then, but she's been gone for a long time, and he doesn't know what to do with these. They're beautiful fur coats. I'm not even sure people wear fur coats anymore, but just put it on there and see what happens?
Yeah, first search eBay sold listings
Yes.
and try to find one that's similar.
Okay.
If it's older, put vintage. Vintage
Oh, the
has
word
value
vintage,
right
that's it.
there.
It's like cozy means small.
Yeah.
In real estate.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then people could repurpose it maybe. You know,
Yeah.
maybe some people would want to do that. But you're right. Maybe in California, not that many people would wear it, but they might wear it in Nebraska.
Yes.
Or Canada.
Yes. And that's where we're going. We're going out to, is it the world or is it
It's
to?
the world. It's
Yes.
it's even easy to ship worldwide, and I've shipped over to over 70 countries.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so if we don't want to try this at home, you are offering classes and consulting and even on consignment yourself. Tell us about it.
So I sell on consignment. If somebody wants to do it that way, I get
I
the
would
items.
give you the fur coats and
Right.
you'd say, I'll get back to you.
That's right. And I'll even look them up with you if you'd like an estimate of what they'll sell for. Some people like that. Other people are like, just do what you can, get the most you can, which I will.
Yes.
And I do all the work, collect the money from the buyer, ship it, and then pay the consignor.
Great. Okay, that's super. And then same thing with in classes and consulting, you can do individual. Are you actually hosting classes?
Yeah, I have a class coming up on April 28th.
Fabulous.
But I regularly have them, so a person could take a group class for really reasonably, and I'll walk them through the whole process.
And maybe even try a few out and see how
Yeah.
you do. It's wonderful. I think it's just it's such a modern way of doing business. I think all of us really have wanted to do this. I got afraid of it because it just occurs to me that I'm going to have to meet people I don't know, and but that's more of a Craigslist kind of a thing, and there's
Yeah.
room for all of those things. But this eBay is really quite anonymous, and it sounds like it's almost a no flaw situation.
Yeah, it really is fun, and also something that you feel was valuable.
Yeah.
When the person gets it, they usually tell you how much they love it.
Oh,
And that really
so
makes
it's
you
kind of
feel
personal,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Are there any precautions in the last minute we have? Are there any precautions anybody needs to know in trying this?
Always go through eBay. If someone asks you to go outside of eBay, you don't have any protection.
Okay.
Also, I would ship to the address that is provided on the payment. If they need to change it, then refund their money and have them repay.
Okay.
Because that's how you're protected.
Okay.
And start with small things.
Yeah, okay. So small things because they're easier to mail?
Because they're easier to ship. So once you have that down, then you can
Then you can
expand,
get up
but
to-
don't complicate things too much in the beginning.
Okay, so start there. Oh, this is wonderful. You are just a wealth of information. I've had you on my list of people to call for the longest time, and I'm so glad I did. This has been one of my favorite shows. This is Sherry Smith, How to Sell on eBay. Check out her website because she has classes, and she'll do consignment, and she consults. www.7, use the number 7daysale4u.com, and you're going to be able to clean out your house and pay for something that you really do want. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for being on the show today. Great to see you.
Thank you. It was fun.
Don't go away. I'll be right back with plenty more conversation.